The fog is lifting. Clarity is calling you forward. Welcome to Forward in Freedom. I'm Tanya Johnson. This is where awareness becomes power. Let's move forward in freedom.
Not everyone claps when you heal. Some people grow quiet. Some people become critical. Some start treating you like you've changed because you have. And your wholeness disrupts what your wounds once made easy. I'm Tanya J, your host for Forward in Freedom, where we move from fog to freedom. And this is the work of staying grounded when your life shifts. In our last episode, we talked about what happens when growth outpaces a relationship. Today, we're naming what comes after that: the subtle distancing, the social temperature changes, the rooms that feel different when you walk in, the sense that your peace has rewritten the script. This episode is for anyone navigating unspoken tension, altered closeness, people responding to your stability in unexpected ways. Let's talk about how to remain rooted anyway. Growth doesn't just change you, it changes the stories people tell themselves about who you are. This is why your healing can feel threatening to others. Your growth isn't occurring in isolation, it's happening inside systems, families, friendships, churches, workplaces, social circles. When one person changes, the group shifts, and not everyone wants to move with it. Sometimes your clarity exposes patterns others haven't examined. Sometimes your boundaries highlight compromises they've made. Sometimes your peace unsettles people who are still surviving. This isn't about superiority, it's about contrast. Your healing doesn't accuse anyone, but it can awaken what they've avoided. When you stop over functioning, others must face their own functioning, and that can feel confronting. That discomfort doesn't always come out loud, often it shows up sideways. Rarely does someone announce, "I'm threatened by your growth." Instead, resistance resistance slips in quietly. They joke about your boundaries, they minimize your progress, they reminisce about the old you, frame your change as arrogance, question your motives, withdraw support, invite you less, test your limit, test your limits. None of it dramatic, all of it destabilizes. None of it dramatic, all of it destabilizing. Resistance rarely yells, it whispers doubt. And this is where many people start second guessing themselves. You wonder, am I becoming difficult? Am I overdoing this healing thing? Am I making people uncomfortable on purpose? Let me be clear. Your growth does not require group approval. I want to speak to this from inside my own life. When I stopped negotiating my safety and well being, some friendships loosened. Some family members created distance, not with confrontation, with quiet, with space, with less access to my life. At first, I searched myself, and then I realized my healing required certain narratives to thin out. Stories where I was the accommodator, the peacekeeper, the one who would absorb discomfort to keep everyone else comfortable. Those versions no longer fit. And that unsettled people who prefer the older script. I didn't lose everyone. I lost proximity to those who needed me to remain in a role. And here's what anchored me. I am the author of my narrative. I hold the pen. I don't need to edit my becoming to protect someone else's storyline. What remained were slower connections, healthier ones, people who didn't need me small to feel secure. Sometimes people step back when you stop playing the part they wrote for you. So, how do you stay grounded when the social air gets strange? When applause turns into observation? When presence becomes conditional? I am reminded that grounding is not defensive, it's internal. It looks like not over explaining, letting awkward pauses breathe, resisting the urge to rescue the room, choosing calm over convincing, staying curious instead of combative, refusing to perform your healing, letting people adjust or opt out. Stability doesn't chase approval. You don't need to broadcast your growth, you just need to live it quietly, firmly. Now, let's slow this down into something that you can actually carry this week, your freedom nugget. Instead of three rules, try three internal checkpoints when you feel social tension rise. Ask yourself, am I about to explain to be understood or to be accepted? Notice who still meets me where I am without nostalgia for who I was. Return to what do I know to be true about who I am becoming? These aren't confrontations, they're calibrations inside you. You don't protect your growth by arguing, you protect it by staying oriented. Before we wrap this conversation, I want to speak directly to the part of you who's learning how to stand steady while everything around you shifts. If fewer people are clapping, listen for your own breathing. Is it calmer? If rooms feel different, notice your posture. Are you standing taller? If your grieving changes, honor that. But don't confuse distance with failure. Sometimes the quiet means you're no longer bleeding, you're building. If today's episode met you in the middle of a social shift, you don't have to navigate it alone. If you're ready for deeper support, here are a few places you can continue the work. Clear Direction Coaching for guided, faith anchored clarity as you rebuild your life with intention. Visit our website to learn more and schedule a session. A Woman's Exodus, Only by Grace, my book for those walking out of high conflict relationships and into freedom, identity, and peace. My 7-figure podcast, conversations on leadership, faith, mindset, and building a life that reflects who you're becoming, all in a loving community. All those links are in the show notes. Choose the one that meets you right where you are. Next time, we're exploring how to rebuild community after leaving high conflict relationships and how to trust new connections without abandoning discernment. This is Tanya J, your host for Forward in Freedom, where we move from fog to freedom. And this is the work of staying grounded. Until we meet again, walk forward with steadiness.